If you don't control yourself, life will. If you don't discipline your mind, someone else will shape it for you. And if you don't take charge of your time, distractions will steal it, little by little, until nothing is left. That's the great truth. Success begins the moment you decide. Decide to govern your thoughts. Decide to rule your habits. Decide to master your emotions. Because here's what I learned. It's not what happens that determines your future. It's what you do about what happens. Life will test you. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will challenge you. But the greatest challenge is not out there. The greatest challenge is you. If you can conquer yourself, your doubts, your excuses, your laziness, then you can conquer the world. So tonight, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how to take control of yourself. Because when you do, you unlock a future that only the disciplined will ever taste. Let me tell you something, my friend. Life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. And that change begins when you take responsibility for yourself. You see, personal responsibility is the foundation of freedom. It's the key that unlocks the doors of opportunity. It's the moment you stop pointing fingers and start looking in the mirror. Blaming others may feel easy. It may even feel justified. But here's the truth. Every time you blame, you hand away your power. You say, "It's not me, it's them." And when it's them, you can't change it. If your boss is the problem, then you're stuck. If the economy is the problem, then you're stuck. If your past is the problem, then you're stuck. But the day you decide, "It's up to me," everything changes. That's the day freedom begins. I remember a young man who came to me once. He said, "Mr. Rohn, my company doesn't pay me enough. The market is unfair. My family doesn't support me." And I listened. I nodded. Then I asked him a simple question. "Do you want to stay the same, or do you want to change?" He looked puzzled. And I told him, "You can complain about your company, your family, the market, but those things won't move. The only thing that can move is you." That's when he realized. The power was never out there. It was inside him all along. Let me give you a picture. Imagine you want to get stronger. You say, "I'll pay someone else to do push-ups for me." You can hire the strongest man in town. He can do push-ups all day, but your muscles won't grow. Why? Because you can't hire someone to do your push-ups for you. That's life. That's responsibility. No one can take your steps. No one can breathe your breaths. No one can live your life. It's yours. It's always been yours. Self-control means saying, "I will be the author of my own story." It's the day you stop handing out excuses. It's the day you stop giving away your pen and letting someone else write your chapter. Is it easy? No. But freedom never comes easy. Freedom comes when you carry the weight of discipline. Freedom comes when you say, "If it's to be, it's up to me." Think about this. Every great life begins with this decision. Not luck, not chance. A decision. A decision to take control, to accept responsibility, to say, "I am the cause. I am the solution. I am the one." Because when you accept responsibility, something amazing happens. You begin to grow. You begin to see. You begin to build a future that is designed, not accidental. That is the foundation of self-control. That is the beginning of freedom. Let me tell you something that changed my life. Most people spend their lives reacting to the world around them. They let their moods, circumstances, and other people's opinions control their actions. And they wonder why life seems so hard. The truth is simple. You cannot control everything around you, but you can control what's inside you. And what's inside you, your mind, your thoughts, is far more powerful than anything outside. I remember a man I met years ago. He was talented, smart, ambitious, but he complained constantly. He said, "Nothing ever works for me. Life is against me. I'm just unlucky." I asked him a question. "Have you tried controlling what you think about?" He looked at me like I had grown a second head. Controlling my thoughts? How can I control them? Life is what it is. And that, my friend, is where most people fail. Life does not give you power by handing you circumstances. Life gives power when you govern your mind. When you choose what thoughts to nurture, when you decide which ideas to follow and which ones to reject. Here's the lesson. Thoughts are seeds. If you plant fear, doubt, and negativity, that is what grows. If you plant optimism, courage, and creativity, that is what grows. But here's the catch. Seeds don't grow overnight. They need water, sunlight, attention. Neglect one day, and the weeds take over. And the weeds of the mind are easy to grow. Worry, regret, envy, excuse. They grow faster than the good seeds. And if you're not careful, they take the garden of your mind hostage. I remember when I first understood this truth. I was struggling with a new business. Problems everywhere. Mistakes, rejections, dead ends. I could have said, "This is impossible. I'm not ready. Maybe I should quit." But something inside me whispered, "Control your mind, control your life. Guard your thoughts as if your life depends on them." Because it does. So I began. Every morning, I spent a few minutes choosing my thoughts. I read uplifting ideas. I reminded myself of past successes. I imagined solutions instead of problems. I planted seeds of hope, discipline, and persistence. And slowly, the weeds began to recede. The garden grew. Opportunities appeared. My mindset transformed my reality. Here's another story. A young woman came to me, discouraged after several failed attempts at starting her own business. She said, "I just can't get it right. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I'm not meant to succeed." I asked her, "What are you telling yourself every day?" She paused, and then she realized her mind had become her jailer. Her thoughts had created the limits she believed were real. I said to her, "Master your mind. Feed it what you want to see. Guard it against what you don't. Decide which thoughts deserve your attention and which ones don't. Your mind is your most powerful asset. Treat it like gold." By the end of that year, she had launched her first successful venture, and she said something I'll never forget. "I didn't change the world around me. I changed the world inside me." Here's the principle in its simplest form. You cannot always control life's events. You cannot stop problems from appearing. You cannot prevent people from disappointing you. But you can control your mind. You can control your response. You can control your focus. And when you master your mind, you begin to master life. The practical steps are simple, but not easy. 1. Guard your thoughts. Don't let negativity in. Remove mental clutter. 2. Feed your mind daily. Read, listen, learn. Focus on ideas that elevate you. 3. Visualize solutions. See the path, not the obstacles. 4. Practice gratitude. Your mind notices abundance, not lack. 5. Repeat daily. Mastery is built one thought at a time. Remember this, friend. Stand guard at the door of your mind. What enters will shape the rest of your life. The moment you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your destiny. Your moods no longer dictate your actions. Your fears no longer hold you back. Your mind becomes a garden you tend, a tool you wield, a source of unstoppable power. And that is the secret of the successful. Not luck, not circumstances, but mastery of the mind. Because when your mind is disciplined, you are unstoppable. And when your mind is free, your life becomes limitless. Control your mind, control your life. Guard your thoughts as if your life depends on them, because it does. Let me tell you something that changed my perspective forever. We all talk about discipline. We all admire people who seem to have it. But discipline is not a one-time decision. Discipline is not a heroic moment. Discipline is habits. Small actions repeated day after day. Your habits are the visible proof of your self-control. They are the footprints of your intentions. They are the evidence that you are steering your life, not drifting. I remember meeting a man who had built a successful business. He wasn't the smartest guy in the room. He wasn't the most talented, but he was consistent. Every day, he showed up. Every day, he did what needed to be done, even when he didn't feel like it. I asked him, "How did you get here?" He said, "Simple. I developed habits that my future self would thank me for." That's all it takes. Habits. Here's the secret most people miss. Your life is a reflection of your habits. If you have procrastination as a habit, your results will reflect delay. If you have excuses as a habit, your outcomes will reflect failure. If you have learning and growth as habits, your results will reflect opportunity. It is daily, repeated action that separates those who live in control from those who live at the mercy of circumstance. I want you to see it clearly. Habits are tiny. A morning routine, a daily walk, reading 10 pages, choosing to respond calmly instead of reacting angrily. These small actions are almost invisible, and yet their power is exponential. Like compound interest in a bank account, habits accumulate. What you do consistently becomes who you are. And who you are determines everything you experience. Let me share a story. A young man I met struggled to get ahead. He wanted success, but he wasted mornings scrolling, complaining, avoiding responsibility. We talked about habits. I said, decide one thing you can do every day that builds your future. No excuses, no delay. Start today. He laughed. Just one thing? Yes. One. Do it for a year. Watch what happens. The next year, he had not only changed his skill set, but his confidence, his reputation, and his opportunities. One small daily choice multiplied into a life transformed. Here's the principle. You cannot change your life overnight, but you can change your habits tonight. Choose what you want to become and build habits that reflect that. Each action repeated is a vote for the person you are becoming. Let me break it down practically. 1. Start small. Don't overwhelm yourself. One positive habit at a time. 2. Be consistent. Missing a day is optional. Giving up is not. 3. Track your progress. Record it. See the proof of control. 4. Celebrate discipline. Not results. Habits are the building blocks. Results follow. 5. Adjust, refine, repeat. Mastery is a continuous process. I remember writing these words in my journal one morning. Your habits are your character. Your character is your destiny. Your character, and it is true, no matter how smart, talented, or lucky you are. Your habits decide whether you succeed or stagnate. Your habits reveal if you truly control yourself or if life controls you. Here's the wisdom you must hold close. The smallest daily actions, when repeated with discipline, become the largest proof of self-control. Habits are the bridge between intention and achievement. They are the evidence that you are not waiting for life to happen. You are making life happen, step by step, day by day, second by second. So today, ask yourself, which small actions prove you are in control? Which habits reflect the life you want to live? And which habits are silently letting your life slip away? Choose wisely. Plant the seeds of control now. Tend them daily. And watch as your life transforms before your eyes. Because self-control is not a single act. It is a life lived in disciplined habits. And your habits are the daily proof that you are the master of your destiny. Your habits are the bridge from intention to achievement. Master them, and you master your life. Let me tell you something important. Life is full of feelings. Some days, you feel motivated. Other days, you feel tired, frustrated, or doubtful. And here's the truth. Your feelings are not in charge. Your emotions will not build your future. Your feelings will lie to you. Discipline is what separates those who succeed from those who just wish. Discipline is doing what you should do, even when you don't feel like it. I remember a young man I knew. He wanted to exercise every day. Some mornings he felt great. He ran 5 miles. Other mornings it was raining. He was tired. His emotions said, skip today. He didn't skip. He laced up anyway. He ran. And after weeks, months, years, he didn't just have fitness. He had the confidence of someone who could rely on himself. That is the power of discipline over emotion. Here's a simple truth. Your emotions are loud. Your discipline must be louder. Emotions are temporary. They come and go. But the results of disciplined action last forever. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you let emotions decide your actions? How many opportunities have slipped by because you were tired, scared, or uncertain? And yet, those same opportunities could have been seized with one disciplined choice. Discipline turns "I don't feel like it" into "I will do it anyway." It turns hesitation into action. It turns excuses into results. I want to share a story. A friend of mine struggled in his career. He hated waking up early. He hated cold calls. He hated meetings. Every day, his emotions begged him to quit. But he decided, "I will act as if I feel motivated, even when I don't." He followed the routine. He kept showing up. Within a year, he was promoted. Within 5, he had built a reputation for reliability, courage, and results. He told me, "I didn't wait to feel ready. I acted ready, and the results followed." Discipline is not easy. Discipline asks you to go when you want to stay, to speak when you want to remain silent, to act when you want to pause. But discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Let me give you practical steps. 1. Recognize the emotion. Don't ignore it. Feel it, then choose action. 2. Commit to the action. Decide what must be done, regardless of how you feel. 3. Set routines. Habits reduce the influence of fluctuating emotions. 4. Visualize the outcome. Let the vision of success guide your action, not the temporary feeling. 5. Reward consistency, not feelings. Celebrate that you acted, not that you felt motivated. Here's a story about a simple daily choice. I wake up each morning. Some days, I feel inspired. Some days, I feel heavy, tired, or distracted. I act anyway. I read, I write, I plan, I reach out. The results don't come from how I feel. They come from my discipline. Ask yourself, are you letting your emotions dictate your life? Or are you building discipline that outlasts feelings? Remember this. Feelings are temporary. Results are permanent. Discipline bridges the two. One last reflection. Discipline over emotion is not about suppressing feelings. It's about acknowledging them and then choosing action anyway. It's about being the captain of your ship when the storm of feelings rages. It's about deciding, I control what I do, not what I feel. Your future does not live in the moment of how you feel. Your future lives in the decisions you make consistently, despite how you feel. And that, my friend, is the power of discipline over emotion. Feelings will fail you. Discipline will not. Master your discipline, and you master your life. Let me tell you something that often goes unnoticed. True freedom is not doing whatever you want. True freedom is self-control. When you master yourself, you are unstoppable. You are free to live on your own terms. I remember a young man I knew, struggling with his choices. He blamed his circumstances, his family, his luck. Every setback was an excuse. Every failure was someone else's fault. He was trapped by a lack of self-control. And then one day he decided, no more. I take control. He began small. He woke up earlier. He resisted distractions. He chose his words carefully. He made a plan and followed it day after day. At first, it was hard, very hard, but slowly, life began to change. Opportunities appeared. Relationships strengthened. Confidence grew because control over himself gave him control over his life. Here's the first truth. You cannot rise higher than your own discipline. Every choice you make either strengthens your self-control or weakens it. Every habit either builds freedom or builds chains. The small daily victories, the morning you get up, the extra effort you give, the choice to say no, these shape your destiny. Let's think about your finances, your career, your health. Without self-control, money is spent as fast as it's earned. Without self-control, opportunities slip away while you procrastinate. Without self-control, your body suffers from neglect and poor choices. But with self-control, small steps compound into extraordinary results. The person who can delay gratification, who can stay focused, who can act consistently, wins not always immediately, but inevitably. Here's another story. A friend of mine was passionate about writing, but he had distractions, social media, endless scrolling, and the easy escape of entertainment. He realized that he was giving away control of his life to habits, not choices. He started small, 1 hour of focused writing every day. He said no to distractions. He said yes to discipline. A year later, he had a book finished. 2 years later, he had several. All because he chose self-control over fleeting pleasure. Self-control is not just about denying yourself. It's about saying yes to what matters most. It's about prioritizing long-term fulfillment over short-term comfort. It's about living intentionally. Here's a practical approach. 1. Know what you want. Clear goals give your self-control purpose. 2. Make decisions in advance. Decide your priorities before temptations appear. 3. Build systems, not just willpower. Systems reduce the burden of choice and strengthen habits. 4. Monitor your progress. Track small wins to reinforce self-control. 5. Reward consistency. Celebrate the act of control, not just the outcome. I like to reflect on one simple idea. Life is a series of choices. Every choice either leads you closer to freedom or further into chaos. And self-control is the key that unlocks consistent, meaningful choices. Consider your daily routine. How much of your day is spent reacting? Reacting to emails, notifications, moods, other people's agendas? And how much is spent acting intentionally, working on your goals, strengthening your mind, nurturing relationships, building your body? The difference is self-control. It's the invisible power behind visible results. Let's make it real. Self-control is what gets you out of bed when the alarm rings. It's what keeps you studying, practicing, or working when it's easier to quit. It's what stops you from saying hurtful words or giving in to impulsive actions. It's what makes you consistent, reliable, and trustworthy. And here's the reward. With self-control, your life becomes predictable in a good way. You can count on yourself. You can depend on your habits. You can trust that you will follow through, no matter how you feel. Think about the most successful people you admire. They are not necessarily the luckiest. They are not necessarily the most talented. They are disciplined. They have mastered themselves. They live fully in the power of self-control. Here's a story that sums it up. A young entrepreneur wanted to grow his business. He faced distractions, doubts, and setbacks. Some days, it was tempting to quit, but he chose self-control. He focused on the small daily actions. He refused to be ruled by emotions or impulses. Year after year, his business grew. Not because of luck, but because he consistently chose control over convenience. So, here's my challenge to you. Decide today that you will live fully in self-control. Stop letting emotions, habits, or outside influences dictate your life. Start making intentional choices. Every hour, every day. Your life is your responsibility. Your freedom is your reward. And your future is shaped by the self-control you exercise today. You will never be more free than the control you have over yourself. Master that, and you master your life. As we come to the end, remember this. Your life is the sum of the choices you make. Every decision, every habit, every action matters. When you take control of yourself, you take control of your destiny. It won't always be easy. Self-control requires effort. It demands patience. It asks you to choose long-term rewards over short-term comfort. But the results are worth it. A life lived intentionally. A life free from regret. A life where you are the author, not the victim. Start today. Take control. Shape your habits. Master your mind. And live fully. Because the moment you take responsibility for yourself, everything changes. The best time to take control of your life was yesterday. The second best time is now.